What did you think of what Scott Zolak said? Cam, if he doesn't win the starting job, might not even be on the team.
Listen, I respect Scott Zolak, but what the hell is Scott Zolak talking about here? I mean, we're talking about a healthy – wait a minute, Greeny, think about this. We're talking about a healthy Cam Newton. If Cam Newton is healthy, you mean to tell me a guy in Jared Stidham who has thrown all of 4 passes, 1 for interception for a touchdown against your Jets, Greeny, is going to beat out Cam Newton? Man, listen, if that happens, I'm walking to Foxborough.
You're walking from your home in New Jersey to Foxborough. Okay. It just became something to root for, if nothing else. But, Dianna, for those who were not with us yesterday, would you go over again what one of the coaches in that division told you?
Yeah, I spoke to a coach in the division over text message about the Cam Newton transaction and just to get his thoughts. And he says he thinks that the New England Patriots will most likely keep 3 quarterbacks, but for them, they're planning on seeing Jared Stidham because they know how much the New England Patriots love Jared Stidham at this point. Now, we could debate all day long, and I think we've been doing this all week, about who should be the starter if Cam Newton is healthy. And, you know, Greeny, I took this one step further. I wanted to figure out what is it about Cam that the other teams weren't interested in? Because there's got to be something, right? The New England Patriots aren't just the only team here all in on them. So I called some former coaches in Carolina who coached him. And most of them have the same thought, which is he is highly motivated. He is explosive. He's mentally tough. He can certainly tailor his style to the New England way, both on the field and off the field. But again, the caveat, if he's healthy. And I think that's sort of what we're going to be debating between now and then is if Cam Newton's healthy, can he beat out Jared Stidham? And there are some out there who think he will not.
Yeah, and we just heard one, and that was Scott Zolak. So, Neek, let's get to the specifics of what he said, that Cam is a starter. And yesterday on this show, Rex Ryan used the word star. He said there are very few stars in the sport, but Cam is a star, and he most certainly is that. I'm just trying I'm trying to attack myself to whatever the thought is here. So is the thought that a guy like that who considers himself a starter isn't the ideal backup to have on a team? I guess I'm trying to make some sense of it. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't understand the point that Scott Zolak is making. And I think even Scott Zolak would agree that if Cam's healthy, he'll start. I think he's assuming that there's some sort of health issue or some other concern. I don't think anyone believes that Jared Stidham's going to beat Cam out fair and square for the job if they're both healthy and good condition. But I can't imagine them releasing Cam Newton. They don't have that much money tied up in them. And given the circumstances of this season, we're all talking about how teams are going to need 3 quarterbacks. What sense does it make to release Cam Newton when you don't have much money tied up in him? I think that this organization is not concerned about Cam Newton creating some sort of distraction because he's not the starter. I think it's absurd to think he won't be a starter. I think he will be the starter and have a very successful season. But I do understand where Scott Zolak is coming from because there are normally only 3 things that keep you on a roster, and that's production, that's financial commitment, and that's reputation. And in not Carolina, but in New England, reputation doesn't get you that far. They don't have much financial commitment tied up in him. And if he doesn't produce, he will go. I just think we all expect him to produce. All
right, D-Wood, I haven't had a chance to talk to you all week, so let me go all the way back to the beginning. If Cam Newton is healthy and he is able to play and he is the starter, what are they? What are the New England Patriots this season with Cam Newton as their quarterback?
I think they're unlike anything we've seen in 20 years of Bill Belichick being in New England. He's never had an offensive weapon like a Cam Newton. I mean, you're talking about a guy, now teams are going to have to, instead of playing 10 on 11 when you're playing against the Patriots as far as running, now you got to play 11 on 11 ball. And Domonique would tell you that's a whole different animal when you have a quarterback that's a threat at the quarterback position running the football. The offensive line is going to benefit, the running backs are going to benefit, and especially on 3rd down when you playing when opposing defense have to play certain defenses against the New England Patriots, that's what is really going to matter because who's going to account for Cam, defensively when he decides to run? That's going to be something that the opponents of New England Patriots have never dealt with, and that's what makes this whole situation unique.
So Dianna, I'm going to ask you to do something that all reporters hate to do, and that is guess. But Shefty and others have been reporting on this show all week that Cam didn't have any other offers. He didn't have any other options. I have to believe the health was the factor there, right? If he was healthy, I have to believe, and in the conversations you've had, that he would have been, that his cup would have been runneth over, if you will, with teams that would have been interested. Is that a safe assumption to make?
Look, I'm always going to go back to see what Carolina did. They moved on from him. There's a reason they moved on from him. And right now, Bill Belichick and the Patriots do what they do, right? They take someone else's trash and make it into treasure. And for, you know, a bargain here, they could potentially find their quarterback here if he turns out to be healthy. And it's so hard to have these debates because we really don't know his medical. But I can tell you during free agency, when he was out on the market, I was talking to other organizations that told me they were interested. At the time, it was, well, we don't know if Cam is okay with not being the starter because we don't want to pay him starter money. And in the end, though, I think he ran out of options here, and the New England Patriots were the last ones willing to take this very, very low risk on him.
Yeah, it's low risk, and Domonique, to sort of put a ribbon on the conversation here, it also feels like a smart move for him, not only because of Belichick's reputation and everything else, but it is a place he has a very good chance to win the starting job. There's not too many places you can sign at the end of June and still say, I can win the starting job there, but this is one. So if it was a calculated decision by Cam, albeit the few options he may have had, Domonique, it feels like it was a good one.
Yeah, it seems like a great decision considering all those things, including the division that they're playing in and the guy who's in front of him right now. It's a great opportunity for him to do kind of a one-year prove-it situation and then probably hit free agency again and hit his last big deal somewhere else in the NFL, because I can't imagine that that New England is going to sign up for a long-term big money deal that Cam Newton probably expects after this.
Now, look, it's worth pointing out that Cam Newton is still only 31 years old in a league where quarterbacks play a lot longer than that. The injuries are obviously the big question mark here. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.